It is time for the offseason of ESPN NFL 2K5. We just got done playing the Pro Bowl. AFC won it in a rainy, stormy Pro Bowl, 27-10. I remember they had a Pro Bowl a couple years ago in Orlando that was all rainy and like nobody wanted to tackle anyone because of the rain. But AFC gets the win here, so we end 2K5 on a 5-game losing streak. 8-8 record with the Pro Bowl loss. And we're going to go through the offseason here. If this is your first time joining us, we've talked about it in past streams, but the offseason is completely computer controlled. And they're going to make all the decisions for us. And we're going to see who we have as a roster going into the next season. So let's take a look at that. I guess we just move forward. Yeah, start the offseason. So it is all set up to be computer controlled. And we talked about a little bit in the past episodes, but a brief summary. You can listen to it in past episodes. But we're doing all user-controlled teams because that's the only way to change uniforms in this game. And there's a glitch in this game where the NFL draft will skip certain positions, like no quarterbacks will get drafted in the first round. So that would obviously be a huge advantage to my team knowing that kind of stuff. So just to keep it a fair and level playing ground, we're just going to let the computer make all the choices for us and the other teams. But we will look at retirements here. So let's see who we got retiring. We got Pritchett retiring after 15 years. We got John Jones as well. He's retiring after only 6 years. And then we got all these other contracts to deal with. Mike Rumpf is a big one that, look at these tiny like contracts like for 2005. Marc Bulger. So that's going to be a really interesting one. We're going to see what the game does because Marc Bulger was injured, out for the year. And it looked like that we were going to ride with JP Lossman all the way going into season 2 with how good he played. We ended the season on a 4-game losing streak, so the question kind of became, well, is JP Lossman really the guy, or should we go back to Marc Bulger? I suppose we're going to see what the front office does with this contract. Lossman's contract's also up, which is crazy because he's a rookie. I don't know what the collective bargaining agreement was back in 2005, but he's only a 2-year pro with a contract coming up. So that'll be interesting to see what the game does in that regard. I'm curious about what other players might be out there, but we're gonna, I don't know, can you, I guess, skip right past and then see like any big signings in free agency? Skip right to the combine. Yes, have the front office do the dirty work, and let's see. So we can back out of this now, and maybe we can see any big signings, or do we have to wait till we go into the new season to see this? There's no like Chris Berman show for off-season signings. You're doing well so far, Coach. Look at this. We didn't get fired. We still got 2 years left on our contract, so I guess we can get fired. I don't even remember that being a thing in this game. But we're making progress. You'll make it, so... transaction. So... this is... I guess for off-season here? Okay, yeah. So here we go. So this will be the big announcements of what players and whatnot that we signed or didn't sign. So we re-signed Jabbar Gaffney to a 6-year contract. Again, the numbers of this is so crazy. So you're only going to make $1 million a year, but that's quite a hefty contract. We also got Kevin Hardy back, so good signing there. Kevin Falk, who is our backup, also coming back. We got rid of Jervis McIntyre, who was doing some of our kick returning. He is done. Orlando's Gary coming back, who was third string, so good to always have that third string wrapped up. JP Lossman has been waived, and he has gone to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there's your big answer. JP Lossman, the front office, we didn't have control of it. He has been released after losing 4 games to end the season, and he has signed with Pittsburgh. So JP Lossman off to the Steelers, meaning I assume that we re-signed Marc Bulger. So Dallas Clark coming back. We need all the tight end help we can get. We have terminated Colby Reinhardt, so he's out of there. And there you go. Marc Bulger re-signed. So he's our guy going forward. There's no ifs, ands, or anything about that. It was the JP Lossman era for a while. Marc Bulger was up and down. He got benched at one point, and then it became official. We gave Bulger 2 games before a bye week and said, this is it. Either you sink or swim. And he swam, and he got the job, kept the job, but then he got hurt. JP Lossman kind of got everyone excited for a couple of weeks. But in the end, the 4-game losing streak released off to Pittsburgh, and Marc Bulger coming in 3 years, $10 million. He's going to be your quarterback going forward here. Geno James coming back as well. Brian Williams, that's a good re-signing there. Mike Rumpf, that is a huge re-signing. He was one of our Pro Bowl players. Good to have him back doing some big stuff. William Henderson, fullback as well, coming back. Courtney Brown re-signed. We got Todd Stessely, a tackle. Sean Williams placed on injured reserve. Was he hurt? Jamal Williams as well. Keith Adams is been signed. And Daryl Jackson, was he also hurt? I don't even know. Let's go through any big names. Can we just look at the entire NFL and see like any big names? All teams. Here's other big retirements. So you got Rod Woodson is going to retire. Let's see if there's any other names that kind of jump out that we might know, or kind of maybe well-known names. Tyrone Wheatley, I'd say, is kind of, that's a well-known. Tyrone Poole as well. Rod Smith, wow. After only 11 years, Rod Smith retire. Evan Mitchell. Ty Detmer, the old BYU legend. He's hanging up the cleats. Kanoy Kennedy. Anthony Becht. These are injured reserves. Okay, these aren't retirement. Let's say the old ball coach, the old XFL ball coach. Renegotiations, signings, re-signings. I kind of want to see like just quarterbacks to see like any kind of movement there. These are all terminations, injured reserves, all transactions. Let's see. I guess we can kind of just skim through quickly. There's Eli Manning getting re-signed. He's only got 2 years, so it's kind of a, short-lived there. Seneca Wallace with the Raiders, re-up in there. Trent Green, 6 years, $29 million to the Green Bay Packers, so he's sticking around. You guys can, of course, pause and take a look at this. Tom Brady and the Chiefs, after getting all the way to the AFC title game, re-signing 4 years, $18 million in Kansas City. So we had a lot of big names coming up. Byron Leftwich re-signing, but he's got some competition now. JP Lossman, who's got some starting QB experience coming in. You can see all of our re-signings. Any other big quarterbacks? Doug Flutie. Wow, Doug Flutie signing a 4-year contract at 20 years. At the 20-year veteran signing a 4-year contract. Does Flutie have 4 more years? Holy smokes! Well, he's gonna try to pull off a Tom Brady and just go for like a 30-year career, isn't he? Tim Rattay to the Browns. He's gonna be backing up Kurt Warner there in Cleveland. And signings will go from the bottom up here, and then we'll move on as far as the offseason goes. Quinn Gray to the Cowboys. Mainly looking at quarterbacks here. If there's any other big names that jump out, I'll kind of stop and take a look at them here. Jason Gesser. Is that how you say that? He's going with the Chicago Bears. That's not our Antonio Brown, is it? That's not the Antonio Brown that we all came to know recently. So this is all signings, but I don't see JP Lossman's signing on here. So, yeah, I don't see any of those. That's kind of interesting. This is all re-signing. So how's re-signings different than what they did before the other contracts? Negotiations and re-signings, are those not the same thing? Free agent signings, maybe that's where JP Lossman's going to be. Yeah, there you go. So there's JP Lossman. So he was a free agent. That's a big contract, too. I didn't even realize. I don't know if we saw that money before. He might be the starter in Pittsburgh. 6 years for $10 million. I don't think he's going to be the backup in Pittsburgh. We'll have to look at the Pittsburgh situation there. Dave Ragone to the Texans. See if there's any other big names that kind of jump out here. Lossman, he's done. Can you believe that? Lossman is done. He's going to Pittsburgh. Lossman got paid SK money. You see that? Look at that. Lossman got paid. And we already looked at the retirements and all that. There's the wave. And then he went. So let's look really quick at... Let's go to Pittsburgh and look at the depth chart. Because I can imagine all that money and then him being the backup here. Can we even look at the depth chart? Oh, game plan, I suppose. Andrew Cross. We should make an Andrew Cross. Well, look at that. He is going to be third on the depth chart. At least according to this. Holy smokes. So all that money they're paying him. Where's like monies, salaries? Front office. I'm very surprised that Lossman isn't going to be the starter with all that money. He is the 4th highest paid player on the team. And right now he's 3rd string. I wonder if that is going to change eventually. Or if they're just trying to put pressure. But look at that. I mean, he was even behind Charlie Batch on the list. Whew, it's a lot of money for Lossman to be sitting on the bench. Let's see, can we... I guess we'll have to do it after the draft. Or I don't know, can we... I don't think we can edit draft players, but can we make an Andrew Cross? Where's my team here? Game plan... I don't know if there's a way to edit rookies unless we do it afterwards. But then that'll kind of defeat the purpose of who drafted him, right? Rookie report? Unless we just like pick a player and we say that's Andrew Cross. And when he gets drafted, we rename him. Because I think maybe you can edit somebody after. Let's see if we can even do that. Let's go. Game plan. Let's see... No, depth chart, front office. Sign jersey number, trade, trading block, release, negotiate. So there doesn't look like there's a way to edit any players. That was like, I guess that's a modern day feature, right? Let me just look in the options. So I don't think we can make Andrew Cross. Trade, weekly preparation, preseason, auto. This should... Oh, yeah, that's all on, yeah. Oh, edit rookies right there. We did have it off. So... Can we do it now, or does it have to be after they're drafted? Oh, here we go. Okay. So which one do you want to be Andrew Cross? So we're putting Andrew Cross in 2K5 from the Utah Utes. Which one should we... I mean, it can be any of these guys. Which one had the more impressive... I don't know which order you put this in. Or I guess we should see, is there a Utah quarterback in here? What is that? Essex Community College. Harvard. There are no Houston quarterbacks in the draft. 102. I don't know what his total stats are going to be. I don't think he has 100 passes. What do you think, SK Money? Should it be this guy? Does that look like Andrew Cross? 90 touchdowns, 6,000 yards. Well, let me look at my stats real quick. These are all up. While I'm looking this up, all these stats are up on our Patreon page. So if you want to check out the Utah Utes stat book, you can head over to our Patreon page and check that out and get all the numbers and everything on all that. Of course, shout out. SK Money says the Harvard man should be Andrew Cross. So Andrew Cross threw for 3,700 yards his sophomore season. I haven't written down the stats yet for the freshman season or for the junior season. Freshman season was 3,000 yards, 23 TDs. So thereabouts, for doing that math, is like 7,000. So you wanted the Harvard guy? This guy? Does that look like Andrew Cross? The total yards are a little low. Because it would be... He would need to be like... I mean, he hasn't even played his senior year yet. I guess they're all coming in at like 7,000 except for these top guys. Look at those lips. Those are some bright lips right there. That's a lot of touchdowns for Andrew Cross. There's Andy Gross. That's kind of like Andrew Cross. And that's kind of, I think that actually might be, I know you said Harvard, but that's almost Andrew Cross, and that's kind of where he is, like yardage-wise and all that. So I think that's our guy. So, A-N, Andrew. Can I just like, I guess there's not a way. I want to just like delete the G only. We'll see if Andrew Cross... What number is he in the college game? I don't even remember. What number did he wear in Utah? Oh, crap. Do I got to pull up and go right now on YouTube? We got another season of Utah Utes football coming. It is going to be... We're going to do at least 2 more seasons worth. All right, I pulled up the YouTube here. Andrew Cross. Oh, YouTube's fumbling with me here. It's buffering. YouTube's buffering. Geez, the one game I picked, there was like no plays on offense. Andrew Cross is 17. Oh, well, perfect. Look at this guy. This is our Andrew Cross. It's 17. His name was almost Andrew Cross. He was Utah. And we got to put an Andrew Cross in another game, too. Or maybe we just keep him in this one. Any other Utah players that you could think that you want? Or just our guy, Andrew Cross? There he is. So we'll see if he gets drafted. Yeah, all that's fine. Perfect. Speed, agility, 76. We can make him like a 90. There he is. Andrew Cross coming into the NFL. We're going to see if he gets drafted, where he goes. So now we will sim forward here, past the Combine, past the... There's a sports center? Is this like for... Is this for rookies, or is this going to be like the Super Bowl? I didn't know we had a sports center to watch. Let's see.
Welcome everyone to a special NFL offseason.
Oh, this is cool.
ESPN. Trey Wingo here to get you all squared away with what's been going on since we left you after the Pro Bowl.
I don't even remember this.
Coming up, we'll set you straight on all the offseason player movement and see who went where. Then later, we'll call on ESPN's NFL draft expert Mel Kiper Jr. to get the lowdown on the upcoming NFL Combine, and of course, to get his opinions on the upcoming draft.
This is so cool.
But before we get to all of that, let's begin by taking a look at the guys that have decided to announce their retirement from the game. Rod Woodson has finally
just done this instead of me going through everything.
After playing hard in this league for a lot of years. He admitted at his going away that Father Time has finally caught up to him and the game has passed him by. In the final analysis, this was someone that the league will be sad to see go because he truly loved to play the game. Brock Marion also called it quits this offseason, and he too is a guy that'll be missed around NFL circles. Aeneas Williams was really one of the best to ever play his position, and I don't think there's any doubt you'll be seeing his bust in Canton a few years from now. All told, he winds up with 15 seasons under his belt, and at his press conference, he broke down talking about how difficult it'll be not to be in the locker room on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised to see a coaching job in his future. Andy McCollum is another that announced his retirement a few weeks ago. You could probably have seen that one coming. He had a pretty solid career all in all. Meanwhile, a number of teams went into the free agency period knowing they'd have to spend some big money just to hang on to their existing free agents. And a few of those players did in fact hit the jackpot. Steve McNair decides to remain on board with his existing club, and he'll be rewarded handsomely for doing so. 6 years, $35.0 million, plus a $7.0 million signing bonus. And they certainly didn't want to take any chances here, so he re-ups for a full 6 seasons. We'll see if he's able to play out all 6 of those years. Marvin Harrison agrees to an extension with his old club, as they'll stick around for at least the next 5 years. Chris Jenkins re-ups with his old mates, 6 years, $41.2 million, plus a $4.1 million signing bonus. Lawyer Malloy agrees to an extension with his old club, as they'll stick around for at least the next 5 years. Mel?
Well, Trey, we're going to break down a few players that I think are really going to open some eyes when the combine kicks off. Chambers looks like he'll be one of the top players selected, and there's little doubt why. 6'6", 345, out of Idaho. This is a guy that could really address some concerns with a good performance at the combine. But I really feel he should be in the mix regardless because of his great performance his final year in college. Elliott is also a guy to keep an eye on. His numbers from the combine will tell a lot, so he looks to be the kind of guy that's going to draw a lot of interest come draft day. And then after the top picks are gone, people are always asking about the guys.
And Andrew Cross isn't even he's not even a sleeper.
There are going to be some quality prospects out there that for one reason or another are going to fall to the later rounds. Bowen could be a nice choice later in the draft. Here's a kid that was getting better and better in college as the season went along, and although he might not be NFL ready just yet, he's got a lot of upside. Moran was someone that didn't get a whole lot of attention his final year, but with a good performance at the combine could really help his standing. So there's just a handful of guys that bear watching over the coming weeks. I'll be back with more as draft day approaches. Till then, I'm Mel Kiper Jr.
Okay, well that was super cool. I don't even remember that being in the game. So we'll get past these last couple of things. We'll see what the draft is. I think I remember there being a draft episode. And then we're going to do our crib episode coming up. So the draft is zipping by. Oh, it just went right past. I don't even know if we'll get to see the draft episode. That skipped right. It just skipped right on by. Oh boy. Well, I don't even know who we would have drafted then. I was not expecting that. I guess you need to draft, or you need to simulate just past the draft. I don't know for next time, but simulate past the draft and the next part later. Because we have preseason turned off too. So look at that. 49ers go undefeated in the preseason. Forget them. Okay. Well, so we have no idea who got drafted where. I don't even think there's a way to go back, because everything would be injury report. Well, let's look at our roster, see if we have any rookies on there. I guess transactions, right? These would all be the players. So we drafted a strong safety, Marc McDonald. I don't know what round. I assume this is the first round, since it's looking like a 4-year player worth $2 million. So there you go. You got a free safety as well. So we really loaded up on defense here. Tyrone Kelly from Akron. And we did not sign him, or at least we let him go. But we do still have him. It looks like Martinez as well was let go because he's all blanked out there. Lorenzo Hoffman, the Duke wide receiver. We'll have to take a look at him. Evan Walsh. So we got a quarterback from Michigan, but it also appears that we did not hang on to him. So I don't know what we did as far as a quarterback goes. We signed a kicker, Ken Bowers. So I don't know what that says for poor Morton Anderson there. Here's terminations. These are, I guess, guys that we just brought in and didn't do anything with. Yeah, you see terminated, waived. So a lot of guys that we brought in. There's Evan Walsh that we got rid of. So, yeah, there you go on that. Let's see. Is there a Andrew Cross anywhere, or how can we look for Andrew Cross? I guess we would see if if he's a tight end or is there like a drafted? Maybe signings. We would see Wilbur West. We would see if there's an Andrew Cross on the list anywhere. Let me know. Let me know if you see it, SK. Kicker, defensive end. Oh, there you go. Oh, and he got released. So Andrew Cross was drafted by the Chargers, who went 14-2, and then he got released. So he is a free agent. He didn't make the cut. Let's see. Free agents, front office. Contracts, I guess. There we go, free agents. So your quarterbacks, let's see. I don't even know how good Andrew Cross is. A 67 overall. So they can do a manual roster. Put him in as a third string somewhere just to get him in. I mean, he's the third best free agent, so someone might just sign him somewhere. So we might just have to ride it out, because I don't know who we would pick. Wilbur West. What was the dang quarterback we drafted? I mean, it seemed like he was terrible if he was already down here. It was this guy. Evan Walsh was a 63. Some other former names that we know from the NFL. Charlie Batch, so that moved J.P. Lossman up. Chris Wanke as well. Seneca Wallace. Sean Hill. Danny Cannell. He got let go. Coy Detmer. Todd Collins. Come on. So we'll see. Maybe let's get a couple of weeks in, and then maybe we can put him in the mix. BJ Simons. Come on. Cliff Kingsbury. He's still hanging around at 43 overall. Well, I want to see if someone re-signs him first. Let's go a couple of games, and since he is the third best quarterback, let's see if someone picks him up here. We can see now just Smoker. I guess I want to see if the Steelers ended up making Lossman the starter, because I'm very surprised if he wouldn't be the starter with how much they're paying him. He is the backup. Wow, that is surprising. I guess they're putting the pressure on Byron Leftwich. So let's look at our quarterback situation here, and you can see what our roster will be going into Season 2. Let's see if there's any interesting emails. I think just that injury report. We'll look at the schedule as well, and here is the depth chart. So we have Marc Bulger. We have the man with the very bright lips coming in, Mr. Al Navarro, and he's a rookie. So I think he's a user-generated rookie here. But Marc Bulger is going to be the guy. Navarro is Michigan quarterback, right? So we drafted one Michigan quarterback. I don't even remember signing him. Was he drafted or let go? So we got another Michigan quarterback here, and we still have Heward as the third string. Still Corey Dillon and Falk, Terrell Owens, Darrell Jackson, Javar Gaffney. That is not changing. Either are our tight ends. We still got Cronwall and Clark. So most of that remains the same. This core is pretty much the same. The only difference, I guess, the big thing is the J.P. Lossman. And a lot of this stuff on defense isn't going to change. Beasley, Rump still in there. Jason Sehorn coming back from injury. As far as kicking goes, we still have Morton Anderson, but maybe they're anticipating a retirement soon because we got Bowers coming in backup, but all these guys are still the same, so nothing too much of a difference there. Honestly, a lot of the same looking team that we got going into next season. So a quick peek at the schedule, and we're going to start things off with the NFC champions to kick off the season. We're going to go at Philadelphia. And then we got home games against the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears, an early bye week. Then we hit the road to Peyton Manning and the 49ers to try to avenge that loss. The Cowboys at home. We traveled to Detroit, Minnesota, and we got Green Bay at home. So it looks like we got the NFC North on the schedule and the AFC West. We traveled to Oakland. We traveled to New York. And then we got San Diego, who finished 14-2, but we got them at home. We also got the Saints at home. We traveled to the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles. So a lot of divisional games down the stretch, and then we end the year pretty tough. We got the Eagles, and then we traveled to Tom Brady and Arrowhead Stadium. They say Arrowhead Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in the league. So a really hard schedule. We got Brady and the Chiefs. We got the 14-2 Michael Vick Chargers on the schedule. We got of course, the Eagles twice, who were NFC champions last season. Eli Manning just signed that fresh contract in Minnesota. We're taking him on the road. So that's what we got. So if you guys want to see a Season 2 ESPN NFL 2K5, let's get 10 new Patreon subs at any level you like. We got 4 different levels. Let's get 10 Patreon signups, and we will bring you a Season 2 of ESPN NFL 2K5. 10 new Patreon signups, all right? So with that being said, this episode comes to a close, but coming up next on TV Sports 27, SK Money's been waiting for it. We are going to take a look at the crib, look at the trophy that Terrell Owens got for becoming the all-time record holder for the wide receiver in NFL, and we're going to spend our money and buy a bunch of stuff. So come on back for the crib episode.